Hi everyone, and welcome to my craft room this afternoon. So today we're going to be working with the flower foam, which is commonly known as foam Moran or foam Iranian sheets, and that's because the foam sheets were designed originally in Iran, so that's where the name comes from. So all I'm doing, like if you watched the first video, which is posted in the group, I have used this little template to draw around, and then I've just simply cut the shape out. And just like I do with my card and my paper flowers, I'm just going to snip into the center. And this is even more important than paper and card, because with this being thick foam, when you shape this, it's going to give the flower a more realistic shape by having a little bit more profile and dimension to the actual individual petals. So now that I've got the shape cut out, and by all means, if you have flower dies, use those. Just I didn't want to alienate anyone from doing this, that if they don't have a die cutting machine, so I've just used a very basic card making template. But if you have flower dies, it'll be a lot easier for you. So I'm just going to pop some ink in the center of the flower. Now you could do this with your daubers, your makeup sponge applicators, or sometimes I don't have one to hand, but if you imagine this paper towel is a baby wipe, if you crease it over the end of your finger, you can actually pop on some ink and do the edging of your cards and that with a baby wipe. So whatever you have in your stash. So I've put some ink in the center, and I'm just doing a few little lines, just like you get on your flowers, little veins in the petals. And because the foam flowers are quite shapely, I don't want it to just be plain white on the underside, so I'm just going to pop a little bit of ink around each of the outsides of the petals, just so when they're curled over, they can got a little bit of colour on them. So the foam that I'm using today is a 0.8mm, which is quite thick. If you're wanting quite shapely flowers, like you've probably seen on Pinterest, there's lots that look like crepe paper, or you're just new to using foam, then you probably want to be looking for a 0.6mm, because it's a lot easier to work with and it's a lot easier to get shape on. So I have put the ink on the underside, I've put it on the top. Now this is quite time consuming, but I think it looks so much prettier when you just spend a little bit of time. And add the colour. So there's my petal done. Now, as I said in the video the other day, this is the ball tool that I normally use. This is the Tonic Studios. Got that end, which is about 2mm, and that one's a 7mm. So these are the large ball tools. These are readily available online. If you're struggling to find them, try put in cake decorating tools, because this is a very, very similar effect to how you would create fondant roses and cake decorating. So I have my iron plugged in and it's nice and hot. Please make sure that you're using tools for this and keep away from the iron. I usually have mine facing away from me, but because I'm doing the video, I have to have it this way around. So I'm just going to be very, very careful. I'm going to bring it in a bit closer so you can see. All I'm going to do is I'm going to slide the petal onto the iron with my ball tool. My fingers are nowhere near it. And then just give it a few seconds and you can see the shape coming itself. And then I'll move that iron away and using the ball tool, the new ones, I'm going to use that to curve the petals, and all that's doing is it's stretching the foam and it's forming them into a lovely curved petal shape. And then I'm just going to go over the top again with my ball tool and just give that a really good press in the center. So that's the first layer done. I've already cut out a few more and popped some ink on. Just didn't want to take too much of your time up, so pop that over with my ball tool and slide it to the center of the iron. And this is just a Black & Decker iron that I've bought. I wanted a mid-size iron for to be able to use on fabric craft projects as well, but the one that I wanted to make sure is it's a little bit harder and you don't want any steam release on your foam. So this one has the holes right around the outside, which was ideal for what I needed. There we go, and that's the second one done. Move the iron away, and while the foam's nice and hot, give those petals a good stretch with your tool. And curve them in over, curve them out over, just to get some really realistic petal shapes. And then the last layer. And give that foam a really good stretch. I posted a video the other day of a Crafter's Companion flower making video, and that foam has been specifically designed by Crafter's Companion by flower formers, and it gives a completely different effect to the foam. So let me know in the comments below if you've got any questions. So there are my 3 layers done. And I'm going to need those and those. And I'm going to take some of this craft wire. This is bullion wire, but straight wire is fine. Take a pair of scissors. All this is for is you're going to create yourself a little bobby pin. So folding the wire in half. I'm going to grab myself some pollen head stamens. I have to pop those in the center, and then all I'm going to do, I'm using decoupage scissors for this because I can't find my pokey tool. So if you have a pokey tool, feel free to use that. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to stab the flower right in the center. Stab it on the second layer. And then stab it on the last one. And then I'm going to get my stamens. I'm going to push them all up to the top, just trying to make sure that they're all the same height. And take my craft wire, and I'm going to take it underneath it. So I've got the wire going across. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to bend back both sides, try and get them all about the same height. Give that a little press, just so it holds them together. It makes it a little bit easier to work with. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the scissors or the pokey tool, whichever you're using, slot in both tails of the craft wire. pull that through and give it a good tug. And then there's your little cherry blossom. Now, to secure the pollen head stamens in place, all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue gun and I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue underneath. And at this point, I can remove the wire and set that aside for the next one. So that's your little cherry blossom flower. And stay tuned for the next video. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye bye.